today we're seeing a lot of really mixed things going on in the market. I think that probably is pretty fair for kind of what we've seen in terms of price action over the past couple of days. But honestly, we've seen some really good news coming in for ICP, which I wanted to highlight today because, like I said, I do think that this is exactly what we want to be seeing if we are ICP fans and we are ICP holders. This is incredible news. But we also, of course, do have some maybe potentially worrying or shaky news going on within the overall market as well. So I want to go over and do just a quick update of what we're seeing within the market and as it relates to ICP specifically today. So we'll go on ahead, we'll dive right on in, taking a quick look at the crypto bubbles. We can see, I am recording this probably about 5-6 hours before this is going to go live. So you will see, at least as of right now, we are looking a little bit negative. Potentially there is a little bit of a bounce starting out on the day. I think that's relatively unlikely, and we will go into why I think that is here a little bit later on in the video, but I do think that that is somewhat unlikely, at least as of right now. But we can see a pretty decent pullback along just on the day, and then if we look at the week, more and more red bubbles coming in, fewer and fewer green bubbles sticking around here. So we'll have to see, kind of over the next couple of days after some of these major bounces start to wear off. I do think the majority of the bubbles that we see here are unfortunately going to be red, but that's kind of how it goes. That is the name of the game. So if we go ahead and we take a look at the ICP chart, we can see we are still kind of stuck within this little range bound area that we've been trading within. We kind of came up close. We actually did not get as high as we did kind of either of the last two times. So we are putting in yet another lower high, which isn't necessarily the best thing, but we have been putting in higher lows kind of over that time as well. So we'll see here if we put in another higher low, or if we do actually kind of break the trend here and do make a little bit of a lower low. But we'll just have to see. Again, kind of anything above about the $4.50 range I think is okay. Anything below the $6.32 range is, again, kind of okay. We're kind of stuck within this range bound trading. Of course, we do want to be breaking above that $6.32 range, and then ideally kind of above the $7.50 range would be another good place to break. And then hopefully, we could kind of see some sustained upward momentum from there. But we are not in that part of the market. That would have been kind of this point in time where we should have been seeing that. Right now, I do think we are starting to see the market flip a decent bit. And right now it's more about kind of, damage mitigation and hopefully making sure that we do not break through this level of support here. If we do break through this level of support, it could get to be a little bit of a rocky ride for ICP. So we'll have to see kind of exactly what goes on here, but all eyes on this level of support as the market continues to weaken. So we'll just have to see kind of exactly what goes on there. If you are looking to trade ICP, whether that's accumulate more, whether that's long, hope for a bounce off of this little trend line or this level of support here. Maybe it's short because the market's weakening, and we've already seen kind of some weak performance in an otherwise very bullish time in the market. Again, I'm not here to recommend or tell you what to trade, but if you are interested, you can get up to a 10% bonus on any first-time deposits that you do make on BTCC. It really is a fantastic deal if you are looking to trade. It's basically a free 10% extra, which I think is an awesome deal. So again, if you are interested, feel free to just check that link in the description below. You can check out BTCC as well as that Bitcoin algorithmic trading bot that I do have on BloFin. I've been working with them for a while, been using and actually putting my own money into that algorithmic trading bot myself, and it's worked out all right so far. I think especially in periods right now where it's not up only, it's not necessarily down only, there's just a lot of choppiness going around. Those types of bots can really do quite well. So we'll have to see kind of exactly what happens there. And we'll, of course, there is no guarantees for anything in life, returns or otherwise. So you do always need to kind of just exercise caution and exercise just prudent investing and risk management. But overall, I think really good platforms here. So if you are interested, feel free to go ahead and get signed up. Now, on to the really juicy news of the day. We can see here Fetch AI, which is, I would say, is one of the largest, maybe the Tao's probably the largest, but I would say this is definitely one of the largest decentralized AI projects within crypto. We can see here they are now utilizing ICP canisters smart contracts that handle persistent on-chain logic for agents to operate in a decentralized environment. This I know all of you ICP fans are going to be in the comment section hammering on this, because this is what we've all been screaming from the rooftops for ever now. But we could see that they're finally starting to catch on. Obviously this is a truly decentralized AI project. You cannot do something truly decentralized on basically anything other than ICP. So I think it's really great to see that Fetch has kind of tuned into this. They've figured it out. And of course, using ICP canisters to kind of allow that. So really, really cool and really great announcement here for the ICP team and all ICP holders as well. This should be a validation of kind of exactly what we're hoping to see. Now, of course, kind of the next piece from here is we need to make sure that that Fetch is actually successful, right? I mean, if Fetch is successful and they're out competing competitors, things like that, that is of course going to be a further validation of the model. And I do think we could continue to see kind of more and more particularly decentralized projects looking to build on ICP, because that really is kind of truly the only real way to build in a decentralized manner. So that that's kind of the main thing that we'll have to be checking out here. Again, if we go take a look here, you can see, don't miss the chance to join this launchpad for builders and qualify for a prize pool of $300,000. So again, some pretty nice incentives there as well to try and get people to sign up. And then of course, kind of by way of proximity, they'll be working to kind of help build out the ICP canisters. So this will be very important to see kind of what happens to the cycle burn rate. We have been seeing that kind of subside and kind of wither away, and so seeing some kind of renewed interest in that would be very, very good to see. So again, we'll just have to see for sure. But moving along, I wanted to take a look at kind of a general sentiment check within the market. As I said, this is absolutely fantastic news for ICP. Unfortunately, it might be just a little bit late as sentiment in the market starts to shift. You can see here, these are two posts right in a row. We could see here, a call for this being the top. We could see the interest over time in terms of searching for alt season. This is basically the highest it's ever been. And in complete fairness, like, this usually is a decent level of a top check. We did see Bitcoin break all-time highs. We did not see Ethereum break all-time highs though. And then you also could see here alt season spiking and then coming right back down fairly dramatically. So we'll have to see, kind of exactly what happens here. But I just think it's kind of funny whenever you see things like this. There's something that's clearly worth talking about, because everybody's posting about it kind of exactly at the same time too, which is funny. But moving along, there's one other major thing that we need to be paying very close attention to, particularly today, which is kind of why at the beginning of the video I gave that little bit of a disclaimer regarding the crypto bubbles, is because currently things are looking relatively red. By the time you watch this video, even though it's only a couple of hours from now, it could be really, really red, or it could be really, really green. It's super hard to say, and that is mostly because you can see that the FOMC minutes are dropping tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is actually now today at 2 p.m. Eastern time here in about 10-ish hours from the time of this recording. And you can see here, this is really the key piece. You need to have eyes on the language. What is the general sentiment that the Fed is projecting? Does it indicate rate cuts? Does it indicate maybe more than one rate cut, kind of all packaged into one? Does it mean that there's going to be no rate cuts? That of course would be quite disturbing for the crypto market. Volatility, very likely. That is for dang sure. You can say that again. We're going to be seeing an extreme amount of volatility, at least in my mind. So if you are if you are a leverage trader, if you are leverage trading, just be very, very careful trading in these times of high volatility, particularly if you are using high leverage. You can get wicked out on some pretty noisy moves, right? They may not actually be a real move in any direction or the other. It'll just be kind of a sweep of liquidity, as the market makers generally like to do in these types of high volatility environments. So just be very, very careful. Again, nothing I've said here is financial advice. I just want to help exercise caution within the crypto space because it is very dangerous. So you just have to make sure that you are paying attention and you're making sure that you're not doing anything irresponsible. So anyway, hopefully you did find the information in this video useful. If you did, of course, feel free to like and subscribe, and then you can hit that notification bell to make sure that you are notified whenever I put out new content. This is relating to ICP, altcoins, just generally what's going on in the crypto market. I'm always trying to stay as up to speed with the crypto market as possible. And then also, of course, if you do have any comments, questions, anything like that, just drop those in the comment section. I do try to read and respond to all of those. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.